Welcome back to another episode of the Corporate Cowboys podcast. My name is Alex.
This is Alex, nigga.
Joined by my co-host Alex, your co-host Alex. Today is Proof of Life. It's Saturday, May 20,
Yes, sir.
2023. And if you're not familiar with the format of this podcast, then let me be the first to tell you before you jump to season 1, episode 1. Let me be the first to tell you that this podcast is oriented towards professional development. And we take real life cases, real life hypothetical cases, right, Alex? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
these ain't real life clients because we pull these questions offline. But
Yeah.
if you have a real life case for us, if you find yourself in a situation where you need help strategizing, you need a professional opinion, you need some added perspective on how to navigate, control that shit.
Sorry, man.
on how to navigate through corporate, move up through corporate, promote yourself, that sort of thing. By all means, reach out to us. A little disclaimer then up front is that none of what you hear right now constitutes legal advice. You should not think we're promoting or advocating for any wrongdoing, any wrongful, illicit activity.
Yeah.
But you can find us on Instagram.
Yeah, you can.
At Corporate Cowboys with a Z. On Patreon, it's the Corporate Cowboys podcast. And there are a couple of donation links if you want to help keep this podcast free, which it will be while I'm alive and kicking. And Alex wants to contribute every now and then.
Yeah, if I can stop coughing, bro.
I can fucking stop. Take a fucking breath.
Shit.
All right, today's question is coming from r/career guidance. And these folks are asking, they've flared it, and I guess they've indicated that they're in the United States.
Oh, shit.
So typically these folks will flare, like they'll indicate if they want advice or if they want, I don't know, opinion or something like that. This time they're just saying they're in the United States. So at least it's gonna let us hone in on like a geographical region. Maybe this touches on some type of employment law issue, right? So they start with the header here. It says, "My boss guilted me when I asked for a pay raise, compared my pay to others who are in entry-level positions and acted pissed. Now it is weird between us.
I'm a fucking scrub.
Any suggestions or ideas on how to repair this? Question mark.
Don't work for a fucking scrub.
Work for a fucking scrub who's gonna take your work and
bitch,
say it ain't
bro.
worth shit.
Yeah, what a bitch, bro. For real. Who does that?
So let me start before you rant. Let me start here. The body on this one is pretty long, but if you feel the need to interject, Alex, feel free.
All right, go ahead.
So they write, a couple of months ago, I asked for a small raise based on what I thought was fair and was most definitely not out of touch with my position or what I'm doing. My boss started guilt tripping me about how several people at the agency aren't able to pay their bills with their low wages. Damn. She literally compared my job as a manager level position to non-manager entry level positions. She seems kind of out of touch, right?
I mean, I wonder what her pay was.
She said that if I were to get a raise, then my increase is taken from others who need it more. God damn, is it just like a pull? Like a
why
pull of
doesn't
money?
she switch with you? Like, she
Exactly.
can take a pay cut so you can get a pay increase.
Shit rolls downhill, right?
That's what I'm saying.
One
bro.
way or another.
Or you could cut it from the shareholders, asshole. Maybe
Of
take
course.
out less dividends that fucking year, you piece of shit.
I mean, those would be questions that we would ask. Like, those are the preliminary questions we would ask this hypothetical client.
Yeah,
like, what the layout of the organization even is. Like, what if there aren't shareholders? It's just like a private company, like a small LLC.
I would look up their taxes. Look up their taxes. See what their profit margins.
Why so aggressive, dog? All right,
Their profit margins were.
let me continue. They're right.
Bitch, you gotta take it out the profits.
She said that if I were to get a pay raise, if I were to get a raise, then my increase is taken from others who need it more. Of course, I felt horrible and shamed for even asking. I had no idea the agency screwed over their workers like that. All right. So the hypothetical client's not dumb. They're not fucking stupid. Like they're on game, right?
Yeah.
They're up on game, and they get that the agency is fucking over the other employees, whether they're employees or contractors.
They just pay them knowing they can't pay their bills.
Exactly. So they continue. I had no idea the agency screwed over their workers like that. On the flip side, though, why are those workers even staying at this agency if it is such low pay? They all have degrees and could apply for other higher paying jobs.
Well,
Maybe your manager's sucking them all off.
Yeah.
And they're not leaving. They're not leaving because low self-esteem. I'm going to go with low confidence, low self-esteem. Because if you got a degree...
Who else you gonna get your dick sucked by, bro?
I mean...
If your supervisor's doing it, why would...
True. And we were already able to infer that the supervisor is a female.
Yeah, she is a female.
So it's like, I could have a doctorate's degree. I could be a fucking doctor.
Oh, shit.
But then I get it like an entry-level job because it comes with a little top.
That's the benefits. A little top on the top.
A little fringe top.
Yeah, bro. That might make me take a little pains out, bro.
I'm just bullshitting.
It depends on the frequency, bro.
Depends on the frequency,
Like,
exactly.
It's like once a month, once a week.
Damn, and that's probably why the manager doesn't want to give up their pay raises because
hey, that's why she's
taking the pay raises.
Hey, yo, that's why she had that stank face. You know, bro. She was like,
you don't want this head instead. You faggot.
You want a pay raise?
You want a pay raise?
Dick size
to get where I'm at? Yo, hey, real talk. Like out of bullshitting, there's females like that. There's just managers like that who've gotten to a position because they've kissed so much ass, and they categorize kissing ass and sucking dick as doing work.
Yeah.
Like there's motherfuckers who got their morals and their value twisted. Like that. Like they really think that the fact that they could people please.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that's a professional skill.
No, it's not. Sir, I got your coffee and your sloppy toppy this morning.
Right. And they think that entitles them to the next up.
Yeah.
To the up next. Nah, not at all. So they say
guys would do that, but
because guys are dogs, man.
It doesn't work.
I mean, like we're dogs, but like we'll only stick around for like 3 months and be like, damn, I can't pay my bills. I'm fucking leaving, dog.
Man,
all right. So they're right. How? Oh, they're right. So they all have degrees and they could apply.
I'm just saying, I really do wish I could lick pussy for some more pay.
Dog, I would
do it.
Okay,
I would.
let me contextualize that for you. I would do that when I was like 18.
I do it now.
Dog,
I do it today.
But
twice bump and raise? Come here, girl.
Oh, okay. I see. So you're flipping the sexes. Yeah. Like you're flipping the script. Like
I don't think it's about sex. I think it's just about opportunity. There's some people that would take that opportunity, and some people that wouldn't. But you got to recognize that it's not a real skill, bro.
But you also got to recognize that your manager might not be a bad bitch.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. She might not be a bad bitch, bro.
Eat out some dog-looking ass bitches, bro.
Maybe that is work, bro. Maybe that is work. Maybe we should revisit this, bro. Maybe we should revisit this.
Sex work is real work, bro. All right,
go ahead.
They continue. No, you're good.
Continue.
They're right. They all have degrees and could apply for other higher-paying jobs. Really, what came to mind when they wrote that was that it's just the lack of. I'm just shooting from the hip. It's a lack of confidence, a lack of self-esteem, a lack of social marketability, right?
Yeah.
Where if they got the skills, the technical skills, but they don't have the social skills to even advocate for themselves to get the raise, like I'm not gonna hope. I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna hang on to my manager's graces that they give me a raise. If I know I'm getting fucked over, right? If I'm not getting paid my fair share, if I'm not getting paid enough to make ends meet, I'm not gonna just wait for the money to fall from the sky.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing: is like what you also got to remember, Alex, bro.
What's up?
Is that like you're a much more motivated person than most people, right?
Right.
And I could say that for a lot of people in my circle.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I fuck with them.
Right.
Normal people sometimes, like, they just get into a position and they're just comfortable.
That's true.
And it takes work to apply, make a resume. Like, it's not a huge amount of work, but it's work for an average person that it might be comfortable paying their bills.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Not living great, but not, living terrible.
So like it's work. It's substantial work for the average person.
Yeah.
Like the average person who might not be hungry, who might not be fueled by that sort of hunger or ambition.
Exactly. So sometimes I think it's also a product people just need to just like,
up their ethic.
Up their effort, yo. Like, like, don't complain about your situation if you never tried to change it.
Right.
But we're not even talking about them.
Not yet.
Right. But like, just as a thought, we were talking about it. So.
Right. So this hypothetical client is saying that the agency is fucking over everybody else, even though they all have degrees and could apply for jobs, and they continue, they write. But how is this my issue, boss? Ooh. This is 100% a reflection of poor management decisions where you and other higher management did not advocate for those individuals to receive fair and reasonable compensation over the course of several years.
And that's smart, bro, because like at the end of the day, like if you can't pay your employees anymore, then if you can't pay your employees what they're worth, then you don't have a successful business model. Every successful business model, and that's not the problem. That's not the employee's problem.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a lack of leadership, is what you're touching on,
and just a lack of planning. Like if I'm running a business, right?
Right.
I'm looking at all the costs. Yeah. And part of the cost is
taking care of your people.
It's taking care of your people. That's just part of the cost. I mean, do you want happy employees? Do you want people that feel motivated to be there and stay there? Because, a lot of these unsuccessful companies, they're trying to cut costs, which is cool and all, right?
But they don't realize
you're fucking up your work culture.
Exactly. They're pulling the rug out from under the very people that hold up the company, the very people that service the company, just like they're servicing the customer to make this money.
And then you fuck up your product, man. You fuck up your product.
That's right. Especially when your product is your people.
Exactly. If you're providing a service, it's not just what's in front of them that's the product, it's the people putting it in front of them. And you gotta, I mean, if you want to be like the farmer who just,
who just exploits and extracts.
Exploits and extracts and just gives fucked up food and, you try to get it as cheap as possible, so you're selling the cheap shit.
Literally just slaving motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Essentially,
That's what you want to do, cool. It probably won't last a long time when your reputation as a company gets undercut.
Right? Exactly. Especially on the market where reputation sells.
Yeah. And it depends on the product too. If it's a product that everybody needs, you could probably get away with it.
For a little.
But if you're in a product where somebody doesn't need it, or it's like a luxury, or it's like, or even
something that's got like enough competition on the market, that's got enough alternatives competing with yours. Yeah, your product, your company is gonna suffer because
like who your customers,
because of your oversight.
If your customers are broke people, then that's true, because you're trying to get as cheap as possible product as possible. Yeah. But if you're dealing with professionals, or like you're providing professional services to like banks or institutions or whatever the job is, if you're providing it to professional people, then your reputation is like super important, man. You gotta pay your people.
And what's unique is that this market exists both outside the firm and inside of the firm, which is what we're talking. This service that we're talking about, this concept of service that we're talking about goes towards servicing your people as well as servicing the market. So, and that's what this hypothetical client is touching on. It's the fact that these poor management decisions where they failed to advocate for their own team means that they were not servicing their team. They're essentially selling their own team short, undercutting their own team. And like you're saying, that's a lack of planning. Yeah. That's a lack of leadership.
And also, you got to plan as an employee. Like, you got to pick your... That means if you can understand that as an employee, you can understand where you're going to be happy as an employee, right? Don't just look at any job that's available, especially if you have, like, education and stuff. Look at the company that you're working for and see what kind of services they're providing.
Right.
The quality of the services they're providing.
Right.
And who they're marketing to.
That's how you move like a corporate cowboy.
Yeah, man.
You got to do this shit internally. So they continue. I'm expecting no chance at a future raise because I asked if we could revisit this next year. Damn, you're going to wait a whole fucking year to broach the subject again?
That's like regular shit, you know what I mean? Like 2%.
I'd give the bitch 6 months, and if not, start looking for another job, my guy. All right. And she looked at me. She looked at me with an asshole stare of disbelief, as though she were thinking, how dare you go there?
Yeah.
Damn, it's like you fucked her in the ass, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, never mind, I was going to go back to the sex jokes again, but other things she said alluded to her taking my request for a pay raise as a threat of leaving the agency.
She had that money shot face, huh?
She had that fucking
that money shot face, huh? It's like, what you do that for?
She's right? Like, wrong hole. She had that wrong hole face, yo. How dare you? You know that's the wrong hole. How fucking dare you, yo? Oh, shit. And so other things she said alluded to her taking my request for a pay raise as a threat of leaving the agency. That, I think, is the most reasonable way she could have taken it. And why wouldn't it be a threat? If you ain't getting paid what you want, shop.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
It's a market, not a family.
Exactly. Don't get sucked in. Don't get sucked up with this whole, when you're here, we're a big family, whatever the fuck, bro. Right? If they're not paying their other family members right, you think they're gonna do right by you?
Nah, bro.
In a year's time?
You're a business decision, and so are they.
Exactly. They continue here. We've got a couple paragraphs. Two paragraphs left. I feel resentful that she dumped all of that on me. I love my job. I was planning on staying in this position for at least 3 years. I am shocked at her inability to have an open, respectful, and non-reactive conversation about a damn pay raise. Well, to me, that's just an incompetent bitch of a manager.
And that's your fault too. What are you resentful for? Why are you resenting anything? Like,
I mean, it's your fault too, not being able to manage your manager.
Like, you gotta, exactly. You gotta work.
You gotta learn to manage up too.
Yeah, you gotta manage up. We'll talk about that. Finish it.
For sure.
We almost done, right?
They write, for hell's sake, she has been a manager for years. I mean, that's got nothing to do with her being inept. You could be a manager for 10 years and still be an ass.
That's why she's still manager for years, man.
Now she is colder. She acts like I crossed the boundary, and it is not good. I used to be a people pleaser, and I'm seeing those tendencies surface, but I need to come up with a new strategy and mindset. Any ideas on how to mend this, coping strategies, etc., or should I just prepare to leave?
Yeah,
Alex, what do you think?
I think that, like, she's way too invested emotionally in her job. Like,
are you assuming the gender?
Oh yeah. Maybe I am. He.
I mean,
maybe he.
Maybe it's because the question, like, this whole prompt came off as bitch made.
Yeah, it did a little bit, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Like, hella deep in your feelings, like you won't accept the sexual favors as a fucking bonus, right? You want money instead of
because, like, okay, like,
no, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you.
It's stupid.
Go ahead.
I mean, like, if you think about it, right? Like, she's acting cold, whatever. Like, to me, that doesn't really matter. That doesn't affect my mood. That doesn't affect my swag, my motion.
How you're moving, yeah.
You know, my motion in the ocean. You
exactly.
Feel me? Like,
it just affects your next.
It affects her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what I will always do is I will always stay professional.
Of course.
And also, you continue to do just fucking amazing work. You continue to do fucking excellent service, and you get even better at your job.
Exactly.
The better you get at your job, it don't matter who likes you and who don't. The better you are at your job, and you want people to like you, right? You don't want to just go around like, fuck this fool, you know what I mean?
I mean, definitely not like in this, they wrote people pleaser. Definitely not a people pleaser.
No, don't be a people pleaser.
No, for sure not.
No.
Like taking on like extra work and picking up other people's slack. Like you want to do your job down to the T. Yeah. And you want to do that shit perfectly as you can. You are striving to be a consummate professional after all, right?
Exactly.
If they're not going to give you your pay raise, you do what you need to do essentially to get your affairs in order. So if you do want to stick around until next year's performance evaluation and they don't give you a pay raise, start looking for work. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't wait another year. I think the hypothetical client here has enough signs, has enough facts. The circumstances tell us that everybody else is getting fucked over. They already were told, essentially, slap down and put in their place. Like, don't ask for a pay raise. How fucking dare you? All that shit, right? So what tells us, what hopes, what reasonable inference could we make that they can expect a different answer next year?
I mean, probably not, but here's the thing though, is she's asking for coping mechanisms, right? Mm-hmm. Or he's asking for coping mechanisms.
Who fucking cares?
You know, they asking for coping mechanisms. They asking for solutions on not necessarily how to quit their job, right? Or like, we can give them the advice, you should find a new job, right? But what if you know, what advice do you give them to cope with the situation? Because they still got to look for a job, right?
True.
They're not just gonna quit,
right? Oh no, then in that case, for sure, they shouldn't be rocking the boat like you're saying. Like you still want to show up to work, you still want to put the work in.
Yeah.
I mean, don't start slacking just because this bitch ain't feeling me today.
Exactly.
So I know what
you come in with the most positive, like, attitude every day. Even if she's cold to you, be like, hey, good to see you, boss.
Yeah.
Getting to work, whatever you need.
If anything, and I've seen this happen before, like when a motherfucker tries to spite you or tries to salt you up, your demeanor, like a positive demeanor, like diffuses them.
It will kill
Fucks them up, dude.
It will kill him.
Trips them.
Like when you kill people with kindness, bro, it does something inside of them, bro.
Yeah.
That it just, they can't stand, but it's an incredible feeling. Yeah. It's an incredible feeling when you can kill somebody with kindness.
Knowing that you cracked them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like that.
Exactly.
I like that.
And so you just keep that positive shit. You come to work fucking happy as fuck every day, and you do excellent work.
As far as mending this,
you don't have to please her. You just have to please the company.
No, definitely not. So let me get more higher level on you.
Okay.
One level up. I mean, this is probably 5 levels up to a client, but for us, it's like one level up.
Okay.
Because we're thinking like a corporate cowboy, right?
Okay.
If they do want to stick around a whole nother fucking year,
okay,
what's to say that this person couldn't take this salted, sour bitch of a boss and become a therapist?
Yeah.
Move like a therapist.
Yeah. I mean, and you know what? The first step to that is being positive.
Exactly.
Right?
That's a start.
And when I say it does something inside of you, when you kill somebody with kindness,
right,
it opens up opportunities for dialogue at that point, because there's no hard feelings against, like, she doesn't have to get over hard feelings towards her. She only has to get over hard feelings that she felt towards somebody else.
It's disarming.
Yeah. And so it's like, yo, I'm an open book, and then when she does start warming up some more, right?
You got a couple options for you.
Then you start.
You could either redeem your tickets on that sloppy toppy, or you could find what it is you need to get promoted, or you could find those other options, those steps that you need to take to secure a pay raise.
And you got to be real emotionally intelligent, and that's something that a lot of people can work on, right?
Yeah.
Because I worked on it for a long time. I wasn't always good at it, but I practiced, right? I did thought experiments about about how I think certain people react to certain things. Right? And so
it takes time. It takes a lot of contemplation, a lot of deliberation. I mean, this is just like a cursory overview what Alex and I are going over. Very, very cursory.
Yeah, because like the way that you have a conversation with somebody about a pay raise can really affect how parties come out of the conversation, right?
Especially when you've already been given the information up front that everybody else before you has been unsuccessful and that you should expect to be unsuccessful also. Yeah. So I mean, going into this already having that knowledge in mind, I think puts you in a very unique position of wanting to take on this challenge. And like Alex is saying, if you approach it with a positive mindset, if you approach them with like a manner, a demeanor like you cannot be defeated, it's gonna put your manager, it might make your manager insane. It might drive them insane and cause them to quit. Like, I can't break this motherfucker Radley.
Yeah.
I don't know, something's wrong with this kid.
Yeah, and you know what, after you've learned how to cope with it, when you actually start the conversation with them and you engage in conversations and negotiations like that, like, instead of just taking the conversation as it comes, you really have to, and this is where the emotional intelligence comes in, is you have to learn how to steer a conversation.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Right.
In this instance, the manager, they allowed the manager to steer the conversation in a way of, we're comparing, wages to, smaller wages.
Very good, yeah.
We're okay, but then you have to turn the conversation around, and like how I would have done it is you focus on your assets and what makes you deserve that raise. Don't make it about why the company is hard, and why it's hard for the company not to give you a raise.
For everybody else.
Talk about, because they're trying to say the company's, the way it's managed is you're gonna shuffle out other people.
Yeah.
And you want me to feel guilty about that. And you just redirect the conversation like, look, I understand that there's business decisions that need to be made, but what I'm saying is that I do this, and this for you. I've not only done all these things, I've excelled at an extremely high level.
Right.
And I've exceeded expectations in this way and this way. I've learned this and this. And I just feel as though it's worth more than what I'm putting in.
Absolutely.
And in order to, and you tell them, like, I want to be here for much longer, but I also want to be incentivized to want to be here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And part of that is, when I put in more work than everybody else, I deserve more pay than everybody else.
Alex made a really good point of taking what was a very unreasonable argument on the manager's part, which was, I mean, tell me if this is not what you were doing. You took the manager's argument of comparing our hypothetical client's managerial role and comparing it to a role that was nothing like a manager, which is a non-managerial entry level, which is essentially sounds demeaning.
Yeah.
Like they're smacking down this manager and telling them, you ain't shit, you're entry level like everybody else. Now, I mean, that has been an overarching theme of the Corporate Cowboys podcast, that means that this bitch is also entry level. She could get dropped the next day.
Yeah.
So you play your cards right. You put in the right amount of work. You differentiate yourself. You distinguish yourself and let them know that you're not entry level, and that's the whole reason. And the whole reason you asked for a pay raise is because you know your worth. Sooner or later, top management, because it doesn't sound like this bitch is the end all be all. There's other managers.
Yeah.
It sounds like you might be up next for this manager's position. I mean, you could end up leading, right? But that, again, comes back to what Alex had mentioned before, is being emotionally intelligent, right?
like understanding people's emotions and how they react. I don't know if I explain that enough sometimes, but emotional intelligence is really just being able to read how people are feeling and how people's feelings will react to certain situations and occurrences.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that if we had to categorize the manager in this scenario, the manager is like is possessive. Is possessive of a power, possessive of this money that isn't necessarily even hers. It belongs to the company.
Yeah.
But if the other managers, if her colleagues are also acting the same way, then that necessarily lets you know why the company's in the state that it's in, which is constantly fucking over their employees. It doesn't mean it can't be changed. Again, you just have to move like a corporate cowboy, know what you're doing, be intelligent about it.
Yes, sir.
Any parting thoughts?
No, that was beautiful.
Folks, take it easy. We'll catch you next time.
Peace, y'all. Out from Alex number 2. I am number